I tell you all the time, you are in a war. And it's the war of the psychics versus the hypnotist. And you, my friend, are on the side of the psychics. You guys are my psychs. You guys are the good guys, all right? And the narcs are the hypnotists. Why? Why do I call them hypnotists? Because their whole game is to hypnotize you. And if you haven't watched my other video on hypnotism, you're slacking. You're actually really like slacking. You probably need to check that out. But how do narcs hypnotize people? For one, what they do is they're constantly trying to break your flow. They are flow jackals. They never let you feel in rhythm with life. They're never trying to let you feel in sync. They're never letting the fucking peace go by and spread itself, all of its love, its pink glory all over you guys. They don't like that. They don't want peace. They don't want rhythm. Everything needs to be out of sync. They have to do everything out of harmony. That means they're going to disrupt you. They're going to interrupt you, correct you while you're talking. Everything has to be difficult. They have to take a long time doing something. You know, if you guys are going to go out or something like that and you still think that they're your friend, they cut you off while you're walking, or just a whole plethora of things. But basically, one of the worst ones is that they ignore you while you're talking. And it's one of those things that you can't ignore yourself. And I know that sounds like kind of weird, but you can't ignore that you're being ignored, because your mind is always trying to get feedback from the world. So even on a subconscious level, your mind's like, am I talking loud enough? And that in and of itself is going to break your flow, because now your mind has to rebalance itself. Even if you know that's what they're doing, it's kind of like something that's still, it's a shocking thing. It still shocks your mind because it shocks your perceptions, your how you interact with the world. It's like your mind needs to make sure that everything is going right. So that's a huge deal, just people ignoring you. But so as you're trying to figure that out, I mean, you're gonna have these lingering feelings of, you know, not being in the moment, you know, and also just as you go out into the world, after you're talking to these people, right? You go out into the world and you don't know if you're talking loud enough. You don't know if you're talking clear enough. They are constantly criticizing you, so you feel like you're trying to catch yourself before you make a mistake, and just on and on. You're overly self-conscious, you're overly self-aware of every little thing, and I want you to stop, just let that go. Okay, so that's part of their plan. They want you to be out of rhythm, out of sync, even when they're not around, you know, and it's so that they can have the golden ticket. And what's the golden ticket? They provide when you feel natural. They provide when you're going to be able to be in sync. So they basically, once they come around, they'll stop breaking your flow, and then they'll encourage you. You know, they might even stand up for you, you know, over something. Somebody looks at you weird because you have all these weird things, and hey, what are you looking at? They stand up for you. You feel like they got your back. But the point is, they want you to feel in flow at certain times, because it's to either fool you or to hook you. And what does that mean? They're trying to fool you because they don't want to just pour everything on right in the beginning of the relationship. You have to have some points of naturalness, or you'll just know what's up and just leave. But then hooking you has a lot to do with them providing normalcy to you, providing naturalness to you. So you become more attached to them, because you don't even feel that with other people anymore, because life kind of sucks at this point, because you're no longer in sync. Because you think about it like this: to be in sync with life, every time you're having a good time, time seems to fly, right? you're not really paying attention to time. You're in the moment. Whenever you are around a narc, they're always interrupting you, so you're never in the moment. You're always paying attention to time. Everything boring happens when you pay attention to time. Think about it. People say it's like watching paint dry. Why? Because you feel the time. So your whole life, outside of just your thinking behaviors, the whole self-consciousness and all that other stuff, but just how you experience life is completely different, because now it's not as vivid. It's not as fun, because everything is slowed down. Everything is choppy. You're never in the moment. Time's never passing by because you're having fun. You know what I mean? Like, so life feels different. So you start to feel more depressed. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, again, this is all their plan to eventually replace your identity, you know, and to tell you and hypnotize you into thinking that you're something that you're not. And in the end, they want you to become somebody who sees themselves as inferior, you know, and so that they can take control and they can give you suggestions and eventually control and dominate your whole life. And again, it's all because of the fact that they broke your flow, and you're more suggestible when you're all broken up like that. You're more, you know that you don't have it together. You're more likely to take people's advice, other people's perception over your own. And that's what they want. That's how they hypnotize you. Again, all right, so the naturalness. You're not in a natural state of mind when you're around them. You're not in a healthy state of mind, but I'll get on that even, you know, further on, because this is really, we're about to go deep, fellas and gals. We're going deep today. Just, you know, you guys got to be coachable sometimes, you know. Let me quarterback this thing. All right, check this out. So your mind isn't, the only time you feel like you are you, think like you're not you if you're not feeling natural. Most people, when they identify themselves, they think of themselves when they are in their most natural state. So to you, it's like you're not behaving, you're not being yourself because you're not being natural, you know? So it's hard to be yourself. And that makes it where it's hard to make friends outside of this person, you know, just because it's hard to, you know what I mean? If you can't be yourself and you don't feel natural, then, you know, people can, you know, they aren't going to be able to get on the same wavelength as you, you know? My mouth is a little bit dry. Let me get some water because I'm kind of getting choppy. I'm not in sync right now. All right, so it's kind of like they've taken you from you because you can't be natural anymore. You don't feel like yourself anymore, you know? And now, once they start providing the naturalness, then they'll allow you to feel like attached to them. And eventually, they'll only do that when you're behaving the way they want you to behave. Also, as far as your brain cycles, like, there's a healthy way a brain operates. And this is the reason why you're never going to be able to completely just be around a narcissist and be like, okay, I'm comfortable, and I'm too strong for them to bother me. Because your brain has this way of being at specific times and things like that. So they're always going to be able to come in and shock you and to jump in and just kind of throw all your cycles off. Like, there's periods of time where your mind needs to relax. There's periods of time where you need to sleep. Periods of time where you just need peace, or you need stimulation. And they're going to stand to be the I can't even say this word, antithesis of all of that, you know. But and it's always going to shock you just because you have a healthy mind, you know what I mean? And they're not healthy. So this is normal to them. Even if you try to beat them at their own game, it's not going to affect them as much as it will affect you, you know. So they're dialing in just through interrupting you all the time. Just forget about all the other stuff. Like, they pretty much don't even have to physically harm you to start messing with your health, you know, because your health kind of can be affected by how you think and how you go about your life, because then you stop sleeping as much or sleeping too much, ruminating and not doing the things that you need to do to take care of yourself, on and on. And it's all because your mind is not in rhythm anymore. Your mind isn't going to be hitting the cycles that it should hit, and they know this. So you got to watch out for your health as well. But basically, that's really going to do it today. That's what this is all about. It's always about like them trying to hypnotize you, trying to take over your life, and you can't let them do that. You're pretty much, you guys are learning game right now so that you guys can see things before they happen. That's why I'm calling you my psychics, my psychs. You get what I'm saying? So you need to see this before it happens and already start putting up the boundaries, the things that you're going to have to do to get away from this person. You know, it's not about knowing what they can do to you and then you find some way to resist it, because I don't feel as though it's possible. Like if you and this crazy person are locked in a cell together 24 hours a day, you guys can't leave or anything, somebody's either going to be crazy that wasn't when they first came in, or one of the people are going to be dead. It's just kind of like that. You know, it's one of those things where I don't think the technology exists yet where you can be around a crazy person and not be affected by them at all. I believe some people are born like that, though. Like I heard about people that are considered untouchables. But if you're not born like that, then I don't know if you can develop it. So really, you're just trying to see things, you know, see the bullshit before it even comes and get out the way. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. Peace.